Welcome back. You're watching Prime Property. The country's first housing regulator was to be set up in Maharashtra by June 30th. But as Manasvi Gilani reports, the proposed act is still some time away. Considering the act was supposed to serve as a model for other states, the delay comes as a major setback for the sector. Here's why.
The Maharashtra state government may miss its June deadline of introducing the country's first housing regulator. The much talked about Maharashtra Housing Act 2012 remains in a limbo, despite it getting presidential assent 5 months back. This is a big setback as the proposed act's genesis is to empower buyers and at one stage was being viewed as a model regulatory act for other states. The proposed act also aims at regulating the construction, sale and transfer of apartments on an ownership basis. The state act was passed by the Maharashtra legislature way back in 2012. Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan sent as many as 3 letters to the centre between July 2012 and November 18, 2013 for presidential assent. On December 22, 2013, Chavan sought the intervention of Union Minister of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation Girija Vyas. The act finally received the presidential assent in Jan 2014. Now the state government will invite comments from the public. In the meanwhile, it has invoked a mixed response.
As it is, we always feel that the sector is over-regulated, and again bringing one act is again going to be a harassment to the developer, and the most important that one can go under the act, same time he has an option to go to consumer court, civil court, criminal courts and so on. So I think it's a duplication of the litigation mechanism, but nevertheless Government of Maharashtra has decided to come with this act, and we don't have any option because the developer doesn't select how many NOCs or how many rules regulation the government want to impose on the industry. So we don't have option except to accept it.
Provision made in the Maharashtra Housing Regulation and Development Act is very simple, that in this act what they have done is everything is online. So the pitfall of this act, I would say that there is no human interaction. Now what happens is, if the developer without approval of the plan, just by making a tentative plan signed by an architect, he has to upload on the website. Within 7 days of uploading on the website, okay, he has to get the registration. Absolutely, there is no question of arguing, interviewing or human interaction is not going to happen. So it is, if within 7 days they don't get the password to upload the details on the website, that is deemed to be registered and the regulator has to give it. So where is the question of over-regulation?
According to the Act, some of the stringent norms developer is required to follow are 10% of the flats will be locked with the government until the developer receives occupation certification. Full disclosure of the land title, development rights, enterprise details at the time of signing agreements with consumers. Disclose the number and size of plots, urban layout plan, carpet area, super area and FSI details. Bans advertising and sale of projects unless it is first registered and uploaded on the housing regulator's website. And also bans the developers from adding extra floors of wings without consent of all existing flat owners. Developers are obviously unhappy with these strict provisions. They argue that the proposed act falls short of holding accountable the municipalities and state departments, which is necessary to ensure timely delivery of projects.
All the authorities who gives the final permissions like electricity, water, drainage, roads, sewage and so on, they have been kept out of the ambit of the regulatory. Presuming a developer can complete the building on time also, but unless until you have these all proper infrastructure into place, building cannot be handed over to the consumer. So many times these are the problems from the government agencies, and my suggestion is that all the government agencies should be brought under the ambit of the regulatory act. Then only it becomes a fair and transparent practice.
The devil is always in the detail. Don't imagine the proposed act in Maharashtra is all good news for consumers. Here's what we found in the fine print. After possession, flat purchasers will not be permitted to carry out any alterations in the flat. So you can't, for example, break down a wall to make your living room bigger. If the flat purchaser fails to pay any installments, developer may approach competent authority for action. Builder will be able to separately sell utility areas like balconies, flower beds and ducts.
The parking is one of the compulsory requirement that has to be given by the builder for the flats of different area, and this becomes the part of the society or the organization which is going to manage. This is as per the Supreme Court judgment, because it is not a part of FSI, and Supreme Court said builder cannot sell it. Unfortunately, that has been made as a part of the cost of the flat, and that can be given to the flat purchaser. That means the builder will enter into a separate agreement to sell the flats, car parking, wherein he will recover again the money.
However, there are experts that believe that proposed act has struck the right balance between the interests of consumers and builders. They, though, are convinced that the Maharashtra government will miss the June deadline.
I don't think by June it will be any chance can get it implemented. There are two important things to be done. One is that the rules has to be made. It should be made open to the public for their interaction and the suggestion objection next 30 days. Once that is come, all the suggestion objection will be taken, then it will be compiled. It normally takes 2 to 3 months for compilation, which means even if in the month of June they come out with the draft notification of the rules, it may take September. And if it is by September they are going to come out with the final, that may come out with the Achar Sanhita or the code of conduct for the state election. So I don't think it can happen. Second most important is they have to develop the website capturing all the details that is getting approved in the what is called as final rules. Because in the final rules there will be the format which will be given as to in which form things has to be uploaded, various type of returns that need to be uploaded. So unless until that is approved, the website cannot be initiated. So therefore, even to develop any website of this type of this one, it may take about 3 to 4 months.
The UPA 1 and UPA 2 did not go through with its promise of introducing a real estate regulator. The Maharashtra Chief Minister is of the view that the state regulator could act as a model for the one the centre will eventually set up. The clamour for a regulator is only getting louder. From the case of the Campacola residents in Mumbai being ordered by the Supreme Court to evict by May 31st from unauthorized floors, to Supertech and its buyers in Noida getting a stay in the Supreme Court against the demolition of towers found to be illegal by the Allahabad High Court, the need for one has perhaps never been felt this strongly. One can only hope that Maharashtra government and the new NDA government in the centre treats this as a priority. With Manasvi Gilani in Mumbai, Astha Maheshwari.
Well, only time will tell us if the new NDA government will deliver with a real estate regulator. We're unfortunately completely out of time, so we're going to say goodbye. Do remember, you can always email us your feedback, property queries, experiences with developers. Our email address is primeproperty@network18online.com. You can also tweet me. See you same time next week.